you crawling, baby?
Good day everyone, especially to our THC 124 instructor, Mr. Rolando Laurente. My name is Shara Faith Minias, and today I will discuss about the positive and negative impacts of tourism. As continuation of DKIS's report, inflation. Increase in demand leads to increase in inflation. Inflation equals value and price of land and products increases. Locals may not be able to afford to live in a particular area. Local businesses may suffer. It can lead to negative socio-cultural impacts. Inflation is the rate at which the value of a currency is falling, and consequently, the general level of prices for goods and services is rising. As the years go by, the retail price of goods and services are rising. For example, prices for many consumer goods are double that of 20 years ago, just like the prices of beverages such as juice and dairy products like milk. Inflation measures the average price change in a basket of commodities and services over time in hotels. So kung buot hunahunahon, for example, sa una barato kay ang bugas, pero karon dako na kayo sa og kanang price. It is because of inflation. Next is the tourism dependency. Some countries rely heavily on tourism in order to maintain the country's economy. Of course, quite often in developing countries, if tourism suffers in a country, the whole economy suffers a huge negative impact. For example, since our economic status is slowly deteriorating as a result of the pandemic, the government has allowed for 50% of the tourism industry to operate despite the COVID-19 virus in areas where there are few cases. In order to prevent our economy from crashing, the government has allowed tourism and hospitality to flourish in some areas. Next is environmental. Concern for the environment to human development around the globe. Tourism stakeholders take an active interest in the effects of tourism on the environment. Unstable practices by the tourism industry can thus lead to deforestation, sand erosion, changes in sea currents and coastlines, destruction of habitats, and etc. For example, activities such as nature walks can be detrimental to the ecosystem if visitors trample on the local vegetation. The positive environmental impact. Conservation and preservation, enhancement of environment, environmental awareness,
financial contributions and protection. First is conservation and preservation. It can be done by zoning areas of the natural environment, for example, national parks. Strict guidelines to follow for developments and visitors. It is built or man-made construction. Enhancement of environment, to make an area look visually more pretty to visitors. It can involve cleaning areas, reforestation, installation of public spaces, for example, public art. It can be funded by money from tourism industry. Environmental awareness. Public more aware of environmental issues. Private and public sectors inform consumers of environmental impacts. Hotels will inform customers of laundry process and how to save energy, water, and etc. The tourism industry adapting to tourist needs, sustainable tourism, and eco-tourism.
Since places can be a tourist destination and tourist attraction, it is a great opportunity to strengthen our tourism industry to enhancing the beauty of our environment by construction of a building and making new tourist attractions.
It would be a financial contributions, money directly given towards the environment. It is used to pay for conservation and preservation of environmentally sensitive areas, projects, maintenance, salary for park rangers, and etc. As I have said earlier, we can make money out of tourist attractions. In other words, tourism and hospitality industry is a big financial contributor of our country. It can be from park entrance fees, hunting and fishing fees, rental equipment fees, and many more. Another positive impact of tourism is protection. Environmental protection, conservation of environment, flora and fauna, sustainable use of natural resources, and achieved through tourism and government involvement. For example, energy-efficient building, effective waste treatment, removal, and pollution prevention are activities involved in this program. The negative environmental impacts of tourism is depletion of natural resources, water resources, local resources, and land degradation. It includes overuse of water for hotels, swimming pools, golf courses, and personal use. Local population don't have enough water for their own needs. Energy, food, raw materials used excessively in tourism that damages environment physically. Land destroyed due to tourist activities. Construction of facilities and attractions damage natural environment. Tourist attractions such as walking, skiing, cause erosion of the earth. Next is the loss of natural habitats. On land terrain, flora and fauna displaced or moved due to tourism construction. F&F damage in natural environment, offshore like water-based or marine. It is the damage to fish and water pollution due to development in the water, for example, marina development, or tourist activities in water, for example, diving, sailing, and water sports. Coral reefs suffer worldwide from damages, overfishing, trampling by tourists and divers, pollution, and etc. Another negative environmental impacts of tourism is pollution. Pollution in air. Carbon dioxide emissions damage the air and affects the ozone layer. Noise, visual pollution. Water pollution includes tourist activities, development, waste disposal, contaminates water, affects wildlife and humans. Lots of transports used for tourism, for example, cars, planes, and boats. Traffic noise from transport entertainment, example, bars and nightclubs can disturb natural wildlife and have negative impact of destination. Littering barren land due to construction of tourism infrastructure. Pollution of rivers, beaches, sea, natural scenic areas, etc. It is socio-cultural. Tourism can have a positive and negative effect on the local. Tourism can have a positive and negative effect on the locals and their culture at a destination. It is important for socio-cultural impacts to be recognized as very important to tourist development. Part of the positive socio-cultural impacts of tourism is education and training. It provides opportunity for locals to learn new skills and qualifications. Skills and qualifications are essential in tourism industry. Staff training and development within organizations. For example, customer services and IT.
Good day everyone, especially to our micro perspective of tourism and hospitality instructor, Mr. Rolando Laurente Jr. I am lovely Nina A. Bentulan and I am going to continue to discuss about the positive socio-cultural impacts of tourism and DOCSE Irritation Index. The second one of the positive socio-cultural impact of tourism is enhanced quality of life. It will increase the tourist and the increase of income for the locals. And also, the positive economic impacts of tourism affect the quality of life of locals will experience. The third one is pride. Increase in local as more tourists visit a destination and increase in investment into local area can renew invest in host population's culture. The fourth one is the socio-cultural awareness and peace. Tourism allows people to understand and learn about new culture and experiences. Also, the tourists can learn about the country's culture and increase a better understanding of the different background and heritage. Slide is about the negative socio-cultural impacts of tourism. The first one is commodification, crime, demonstration effect, displacement, economic, and exploitation. The first one is commodification. Commodification, turning a product or service into something different in order to please the tourist. Tourism can turn local cultures into commodities when religion, rituals, traditional ethnic rites, and festivals are reduced and sanitized to conform tourism's expectation, resulting in what has been called reconstructed ethnicity. It can also lose the authenticity of the culture of the locals, or the authenticity can be staged. Second one is the crime. When there are a lot of tourists, the crime rates will also high. Tourists can also become involved in illegal experience like prostitution, drugs, and can help to develop illegal industries. The third one is the demonstration effect. From its word demonstration or demonstrate, the locals will demonstrate or observe and try to copy the tourists, and it can also lead to loss of identity and its culture. The fourth one is the displacement. Displacements develop of tourism and can lead to an area becoming too expensive for locals to continue to living there. Also, indigenous groups or people living in informal settlement or who are lack of official deeds to their lands are particularly vulnerable to displacement or loss of access to lands and water essentials for their livelihoods. The fifth one is the economic. Economic increase and prosperity in the local economies. The resources become more expensive, like food, services, and the cost of living. The sixth one and the last is the exploitation. Some companies may exploit locals for their own benefits and take advantage of their weaknesses. Some own benefits through child labor, forced labor, and cheap labor, so that the large corporation reap most of the economic benefits. The next one is we will be tackling about Dox's irritation index, or also known as IRIDEX. It was created in 1975. It is designed to measure a host population perception of tourists as a destination to develop over time. There are 4 stages of Dox's irritation index. First is the euphoria area, apathy, annoyance, and antagonism. The first one is the euphoria area. Euphoria occurs in early stage of Butler's talk. Destination has few visitors. Tourism relatively new to locals. Locals happy that are tourists interested in their destination. Have a good and informal relationship between locals and tourists. The next one is the apathy. Apathy. A destination develops tourist number increase. Visitors are taken for granted by the locals and only seen as a source of income or money. The third one is annoyance. Annoyance development of attraction, facilities and services are occurring everywhere. Continuous overdevelopment of the attractions, facilities, and services annoys the locals in the country. The last one is antagonism. Antagonism development of tourist destinations is only producing negative impacts. The host populations is blaming the tourists for all the negative impacts of tourism brought to their destinations. Also, host population angry at tourists and expresses their anger towards them. I hope you learn something from our discussion about the positive and negative impacts of tourism. And have a good day, and that's all. Thank you.